supporters of democracy continue their daily peaceful protest outside the Burmese embassy in London. This is genuine support for the protests in Rangoon, and they are also calling for an end to the ongoing violence there. On the wider political front, the situation in Burma has dominated the UN gathering in New York, and it was there last night that British Foreign Secretary Mr. David Miliband, in his first speech before the Assembly, made this appeal to the ruling military junta.
Thank you very much. I call on the regime to allow peaceful protest, encourage national dialogue and promote genuine reconciliation. Let us today send a message to the monks on the streets of Burma. We support your demand for a democratic Burma. And let us take a message from the monks on the streets of Burma. The human desire for freedom knows no bounds of race or religion or region.
The Foreign Secretary also called on Iran to cease supporting terrorist groups.
Our international community depends on responsibilities as well as rights. If Iran wants to be a leading and respected country, it must cease its support for terrorist groups in Iraq and Afghanistan and end its defiance of 3 United Nations Security Council resolutions in respect of its nuclear program.
He also spoke about climate change and the environment.
The extraordinary scene. The UK will stand ready to play its part. This year, our climate change bill will be enacted into law in the next session of Parliament to place our commitment to cut carbon emissions by at least 60% by 2050 against 1990 levels on a statutory footing. But we need similar binding commitments across all the rich countries.
Earlier, representatives from the United States, the European Union, Russia and the UK met in a separate session to discuss the situation over Kosovo's future status. The group included foreign ministers from Italy and Russia, and afterwards Mr. Miliband had this to say.
I think the key themes that emerged from the discussion were, first, that the 120-day process that concludes on December the 10th is one that all members of the contact group are committed to and want to see taken forward in a constructive spirit by the parties. Secondly, and vitally, there are responsibilities on both sides as this process continues, and it's the view of all members of the contact group that representatives in Belgrade and in Pristina need to engage with the Troika with real constructive spirit.
In New York, the political talks on Burma are expected to continue over this weekend and beyond. Prime Minister Brown is expected to hold direct talks with Chinese and American leaders. In London, the peaceful protests also seem set to go on for a long time.